You think you can sue me? Good luck with that. The billionaire leaned back in his leather chair, smirking at me like I was nothing. His lawyer didn't even look up from his phone. My hands shook as I held the contract. 6 months of work. My entire company's future. And he refused to pay a single dollar. This is business, kid. You should have read the fine print. He gestured to security. Show him out. People in the lobby stared as I was escorted past. A woman whispered to her colleague. Another startup thinks they can play with the big boys. Someone laughed. Before we get deep into the story, please let me know in the comments where you're watching from. Hit subscribe if you're hooked in and ready to enjoy the story. Because tomorrow, I have another beautiful story to share with you and I don't want you to miss it for anything. Now, let's get into the story. But what none of them knew was that in less than 48 hours, that billionaire would be standing in front of a federal judge, and his entire empire would be on the line. My name is Brian Chen. I'm 52 years old. That day, I wore a wrinkled button-down, cheap slacks, and shoes I'd owned since college. No fancy suit. No corporate image. No powerful connections. Just me and a folder of documents they assumed meant nothing. Here's what they didn't know. I'm an MIT graduate with a photographic memory. I'd spent 3 years building software that revolutionized supply chain logistics. And that contract they laughed about. I'd documented every meeting, every email, every verbal promise they made, including the ones they tried to hide. The billionaire stood up. We're done here. My lawyers will bury you in motions before you even file. Something inside me went cold. I'd worked 80-hour weeks, mortgaged my future, believed in handshake deals and mutual respect. And now, in an office built on other people's dreams, I was being treated like I didn't matter. Then a voice from the doorway stopped everyone. Mr. Harrington, I wouldn't be so confident. A woman in a sharp gray suit stepped in. She looked at the billionaire, then at me. She handed him a document. Federal subpoena. You've been served. The billionaire's face went pale. What is this? The woman turned to me with something like respect in her eyes. Mr. Chen filed a federal fraud complaint 3 days ago. The SEC is very interested in your accounting practices. She looked at me and nodded. My brother was a startup founder too. He lost everything to men like this. I'm glad you fought back. Something broke inside me, but it felt like justice. I pulled a flash drive from my pocket and handed it to her. Everything's on here. Wire transfers, falsified invoices, offshore accounts. I've been collecting evidence for 6 months. The federal agent opened my file on her tablet. Her expression hardened. My God. Securities fraud. Tax evasion. RICO violations. This goes back 15 years. The billionaire's lawyer finally looked up from his phone. His briefcase hit the floor. The flash drive contained evidence that would dismantle a criminal empire and expose dozens of corrupted deals. But do you want to know what happened in that courtroom? Comment part 2 and I'll tell you how the judge's ruling changed everything and what the billionaire's final words were before the marshals led him away.
Thank you for watching this story to the end. If you enjoyed the story, you will surely love the next one. It's as crazier and more intriguing as you can ever imagine. So do check it out. Click the image showing on your screen right now to watch the next one.